The one thing in the world I'll procrastinate is procrastination.
If you stop loving the thing that you're doing, you have to get out.
You know, I had a summer where I played basketball when I was like 10 or 11 years old. And here I come playing and I don't score 1 point the entire summer.
Really?
Not one.
Rise and shine, it's espresso time.
I wake up every morning. Espresso keep me going. I wake up every morning.
Grab your coffee and sip on today's message from Jocko Willink. Also, if you want to learn how to have more confidence, check out my 254 series. It's free. The link is in the description below.
People want to know how to stop the laziness and they want to know how to stop the procrastination.
If I'm tired today, if I wake up in the morning, it's 4:30 and I'm like, man, I am wicked tired and I don't feel like doing this today. What I do is I note it down in my head like, okay, you were tired. Then I go do it anyways. And if I'm tired the next day, if the next day I say the same thing, then I'm like, okay, you know what? That's 2 days in a row. Your workout was weak. I'm paying attention. And like, okay, guess what? You need a little downtime. That's the way I do it. I won't accept, like the one thing in the world I'll procrastinate is procrastination. Like if I want to take a day off, it's like, okay. The other thing about this is, you know, this idea of quitting, right? This idea of quitting and never quitting. And people can confuse that. Because if I'm in charge, or if I'm in charge of a squad, and it's like, hey, we're gonna go assault that bunker on the top of the hill. Okay, there's a bunker on top of the hill with a machine gun in it. My squad, we're gonna go assault it. If we charge uphill to an elevated position, I know there's a lot of vets in here, what's gonna happen? Okay, yeah, 2 or 3 of us get killed, like that. You know what? We never quit. Go again. 2 or 3 more guys die. Go again. Everyone's dead. Did I never quit? I never quit. Did I fail my mission? Yes, I did. So you have to keep track of like, what's my long-term goal? My long-term goal isn't to take that machine gun nest, it's to win the war. So if you're doing something on a daily basis and you start feeling casualties, you need to assess yourself and say, you know, you can have a business idea. And I've talked to a bunch of people like this. They got that business idea and their mindset's, I'm never gonna quit. Well then, they're running out of money, not just money for their business, money for their family. And it's like, okay, hey, if you've got it, what adjustments can you make strategically? Because the pattern that you're going right now, if you keep charging up that hill with that business the way you are, everyone dies. If you say, you know what, time for a tactical retreat, time for me to step back, time for me to call up some firepower to come and help drop some bombs on this target, or get some fire support, whatever the case may be. So keep that in mind as well.
I think people should quit way more than they actually do. You stayed in a business for too long. You stayed with an employee for too long. You stayed in a relationship for too long. You should have quit on them years ago. But because you've tied your self-worth to winning, your pride prevents you from quitting. Staying in something, even if you hate your life, just staying in it means that you don't have to admit to yourself that you're a quitter. And so you stay, but you're actually losing. In my first business, was a software company, I struggled with this. I was 19, I thought I was gonna make it rich and be a super successful entrepreneur, and I sucked and I struggled and I was making $300 a month and I didn't know what to do. I was too embarrassed to tell my friends that I had no money and I couldn't go out with them, and that the 20 bucks for pizza and beer was too expensive for me. And it took me to a rock bottom moment until I could actually be strategic and realize that I needed to change. What happened was I told my partner that I quit. We were working long hours, like this was my entire life, working on this business, crazy hours and just not getting results. And so I finally had enough. I felt like a worthless human being, and I called my business partner and said, I'm out. Like I have to go do something where I feel like I can contribute to the world somehow. And so I told him I quit, and then I hung up the phone and I cried. I cried my face off. And I woke up the next day and said, I can't quit on this yet because I would regret it if I did. But I have to find another way to stand. Like this is taking too much out of me. And so I asked myself who had done this? who had built a software company before. And I looked at Bill Gates and how he started Microsoft. And I used his strategies to help my company grow. And then we started to win. Then we started to make money and started to get some customers and clients and eventually sold my business. But I almost didn't come back to it. If I hadn't been strategic in that moment and said, okay, I can't quit because I'm going to regret this decision for the rest of my life, if I didn't step out of that emotional zone just for a few seconds to realize I need to keep going and look at who had done this before, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And so I want to give you a 3-step process that you can use to also figure out should you keep going in a relationship, in a business, in an idea or not. Step 1, you quit when you don't love it anymore. Period. You quit when you don't love it. If you still love it, you have to keep going. If you love it, you have to keep going. I've been making videos for 10 years now. 10 years. I still love it. I love it. This is great. It's not like, oh, I gotta go make YouTube videos. This sucks. I hate my life. I love it. I'm in pain. I broke my neck. I broke my back. I've got like 1,000 pillows here propping me up just so that I can do these videos because I love doing it. It makes me happy. If you stop loving the thing that you're doing, you have to get out. If you stop loving the person that you're with, you gotta get out. You gotta get out. That's the acid test. As long as you love it, you stay in and you don't quit and you find a way and you keep going. But as soon as you lose the love for something, move on because you will never win doing work that you don't love. It's the #1 rule for success. You have to love what you do. If you're going up against people who love what they do and for you it's just a strategy, you're gonna lose. The people who love it will always beat you. And so go off and find a thing that you love. And as soon as you lose the love or passion, move on to something else. #2 is tie your self-worth to the effort, not the results. If you only tie your self-worth to winning, to getting an outcome, to getting results, then you're gonna play small for life because you're only gonna take on things that you feel like you have a pretty high degree chance of winning at, right? If you tie your self-worth to winning, you will only take on projects that you have a pretty good chance of winning because that's how you tie your self-esteem to. That's how you get your self-value from. And so the things that you're capable of winning at are tiny right now. You don't want to take on the big, crazy, scary things because you're probably going to lose. You're going to make a lot of mistakes along the way, and you don't like that. And so you need to flip it. You need to tie your self-worth to your effort. Are you proud of your effort? Like, do you go to bed every night proud of the effort that you put in every single day? Because if you are proud of your effort and you're strategic, you will win. You might win against 3-year-olds and be pumped and take a picture and put on Instagram because you had some small win, amazing, but you actually don't feel that great about yourself. When it's an easy win, you don't feel great. But when it's difficult and you get to prove to yourself what you're made of, that's when you feel great. Making these videos now is more difficult for me than normal. And I love it. It's great. This is my chance. Is it my greatest video of all time? Maybe, maybe not, but I'm proud of my effort, right? Go to bed every single day being proud of the effort that you put in on chasing down your goals. If you keep doing that, you will eventually win. And then #3 is model success. You model success. You're not going to be able to figure everything out on your own. I still love my business and want to keep going. I learned from Bill Gates. He saved my company. Even now, all the videos that I make on my channels, I learn from them. The people in the top 10 that I profile, I learn from them personally and apply it to my life and my business. Whenever you don't know what to do, whenever you're taking on some giant problem that you don't have an answer to, model success. It'll take you 80% of the way. Copying Bill Gates' strategies took me 80% of the way. I still had to customize it, tweak it, mold it, make it fit my specific company, but it took me 80% of the way. You can do the same thing. Whenever you don't know what to do, model success. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, question of the day, I wanna know, what do you need to quit on? Let me know in the comments below.
You know, I had a summer where I played basketball when I was like 10 or 11 years old in a very prominent summer league in Philadelphia called the Sunny Hill League, where my father played, my uncle played, and they were like all-time greats and that sort of stuff. And Wilt Chamberlain played in the league, you know, Earl of Monroe played in the league. And here I come playing, and I don't score 1 point the entire summer.
Really?
Not one.
How old were you?
11, 10, 11.
And you're playing against other 10, 11-year-olds? Or you didn't score once?
Not one.
Were you in the game?
I was in the game.
How'd you not score?
Because I was terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
At 10, 11 years old, you were that terrible.
Awful. I mean, you know, and I had these big knee pads on because I was growing really fast. And I had socks all the way up here, and I had like the high top
skinny,
fades, like skinny as hell. And I scored not a free throw, not a nothing, not a lucky shot, not a breakaway layup, 0 points. And
the mentality of hard work started to come in for you at that age when you failed so miserably, I guess, that summer?
I think that's when the idea of understanding a long-term view became important, because I wasn't going to catch these kids in a week. I wasn't going to catch them in a year, right? So that's when I sat down and said, okay, this is going to take some thought, right? What do I want to work on first? All right, shooting. All right, let's knock this out. Let's focus on this. Half a year, 6 months, do nothing but shoot. All right, after that, all right, creating your own shot. And then you focus. So I started creating a menu of things. When I came back the next summer, I was a little bit better, right? And
a menu being like, I've got my jump shot from 15, I've got my
I got my jump shot from 15, I got my three-point shot, like just open shots, not miss open shots, right? And be able to shoot it with speed, because those kids are so much more athletic. And then the next summer I came back, I was a little better. And the summer came back, the next summer I was a little better. I scored.
Yeah,
it wasn't much, but I scored.
And this is 12, 13.
12, 13. And then 14 came around, back half of 13, 14 years old, and then I was just killing everyone. And it happened in 2 years. And I wasn't expecting it to happen in 2 years, but it did, because what I had to do was work on the basics and the fundamentals, while they relied on their athleticism and their natural ability. And because I stick to the fundamentals, it just caught up to them. And then my body, my knees stopped hurting. I grew into my frame. And
then your athleticism, once you have the fundamentals,
exactly,
the hard work, the mindset, and you tack on the athleticism, it's game over.
Then it was game over.
Wow. So from 13, you're good, average still?
I was good. I was good. And then about the end of my right when I was turning 14, I became the best player in the state.
At 14?
At 14.
So from 12 to 14, you went from scoring 0 to being the best in the state of all ages.
If you like this video, check out the one I did on David Goggins and the 40% rule that will change your life. The link is right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
I believe that most human beings are only living at about 40% of their capability.